Today's video is more than just video clips. It's about awareness, accountability, and understanding the true reality of law enforcement in America. Behind every siren, there's a story. Behind every badge, a system. It's time to pull back the curtain, ask the tough questions, and show what really happens when the cameras roll. This isn't just content, this is reality. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome to Community Law Edutainment Channel. Our first video today shows corrupt Texas cops caught stealing from a house, live on cam while on duty to enforce an eviction notice on a court order. 3 cops, 1 crime, the Smith County scandal. This case shook Smith County, Texas, and not because of the people breaking the law, but because of the ones sworn to uphold it. The 3 officers involved, Constable Curtis Traylor Harris, Chief Deputy LaQuenda Banks, and Sergeant Derek Holman, all of them arrested, all of them indicted, for theft and official oppression. In October 2021, during what should have been a routine eviction at a rental property in Tyler, Texas, these 3 officers allegedly turned an official duty into a criminal opportunity. They were accused of stealing multiple iPhones and MacBooks, designer sunglasses, Chanel perfume, Nike shoes, AirPods, jewelry, and over $3,000 in cash. Everything in total in the range of $30,000 to $35,000 worth.
Hold on, don't come down here.
That is Chief Deputy LaQuenda Banks appearing to put items belonging to the homeowners in her shirt.
Okay, put them in my shirt. Hold on. Hey, Gamble. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, everything here. Are they allowed to keep anything of value?
Who? See what's in here. Oh, Ray-Bans. We done got hot. They can come in.
You all right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna need to go rest. I need to go sit down and rest a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go sit down and rest.
Yeah, go sit down.
We got a little fat over there. Trying to find the pocket.
By November 2021, the Texas Rangers had seen enough. All 3 officers were arrested and charged with theft by a public servant, a 3rd-degree felony, official oppression, a Class A misdemeanor, and abuse of official capacity. Each of them posted a $30,000 bond and walked free. Chief Deputy LaQuenda Banks was fired on December 3, 2021. All 3 had their law enforcement licenses suspended by the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. But here's the twist. Despite everything, Constable Traylor Harris kept his position. Why? Because in Texas, suspending a license doesn't remove an elected official from office. This case is more than a scandal. It's a reminder that power can be misused, and that accountability isn't automatic, even when the badge is involved. The next case is even more interesting. Stay tuned. Welcome to the 2nd episode of this channel, the channel where real stories, real people, and real police interactions are brought to light. Over the past few months, this channel has produced shorts where you've seen raw and unfiltered moments from police encounters across the United States and Canada. Now, it's time to dig deeper. Our next story is about speed trap cops in Florida. In Jacksonville, Florida, a quiet act of caution turned into a confrontation about rights, power, and the thin line between enforcement and overreach. Mr. Gray, an independent journalist and the voice behind the YouTube channel Honor Your Oath, Civil Rights Investigation, was driving along a local highway when he began flashing his headlights. Not recklessly, not aggressively, just enough to warn oncoming drivers of something waiting down the road, a speed trap set up by Florida state troopers. What happened next raises a critical question. When you alert your fellow citizens of police presence, are you obstructing justice or exercising your rights? Mr. Gray was pulled over. The troopers didn't accuse him of speeding, swerving, or reckless driving. No, his only offense was flashing his lights. A form of communication, a moment of solidarity, a quiet civil gesture that's been debated in courtrooms and traffic stops across America. As the troopers questioned him, their demeanor began to shift. Calm professionalism gave way to something more tense, more controlling. Mr. Gray stayed composed. He filmed everything.
They pulled me over. They say it's because they're wondering if I'm okay.
Hey, Mr. Gray.
Yes, sir.
Can you put that down for me, please?
What's the phone?
Yes, put it down.
I'd rather not.
Excuse me?
I know it's my right to be able to record.
No, not to record me.
Yes, sir.
Why does he not want him to record the interaction? Your guess is as good as mine.
Citizens have the right to film public officials.
Okay.
It's First Amendment protected free speech.
Okay.
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're free to go. You want to go, go ahead.
Can I get my ID
But-
back? Or
I'll let you know what I was going to say as soon as you put it down. So you tell me.
I can't go anywhere without my ID.
He's still holding his ID hostage.
As a matter of fact, I just remembered about something else. I'm going to check one more thing. So whenever you want to leave, just let me know.
This wasn't just about headlights. It was about control, about whether citizens should be allowed to look out for each other, even if it means tipping off others about a police presence. But here's the bigger picture. If a citizen uses nonverbal communication to protect others from a fine or citation, is that punishable? Or is it protected speech under the First Amendment? Courts have weighed in differently depending on the state. But what happened to Mr. Gray, a man who simply chose to warn others, reminds us how quickly a routine drive can become a test of rights. And when officers choose to confront rather than inform, to escalate rather than educate, it says something not just about that one stop, but about the system behind the badge.
All right, Mr. Gray, everything's in order.
Okay.
You flash your lights that many times, we're going to think you're calling for help.
Okay.
Eventually, the officer released Mr. Gray after over 30 minutes delay. This is another example of abuse of authority. In the end, Mr. Gray's case isn't just about a traffic stop. It's a symbol of the tension that still exists between authority and accountability, between silence and speech. When ordinary citizens can be punished for warning others or simply recording their encounters with power, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of system are we defending? And who does it really serve? The camera doesn't blink. The Constitution doesn't whisper. And voices like Mr. Gray's, steady, bold, unshaken, remind us why it's crucial to keep asking questions, keep watching, and never stop honoring our oath to the rights we're all supposed to share.
Understood. Thank you.
Drive safely. Make
Thank
sure
you.
you use your turn signal.
Our final story for this video is deeply impactful, the kind that leaves you angry, aware, and thinking twice about the system. This is about misidentification, escalation, abuse of authority, and a violation of basic rights. It's not just about law enforcement getting it wrong. It's about what happens when a person's rights are ignored simply because they stood their ground. A man medically blind walking with a mobility aid, mistaken for a threat. What followed wasn't protection. It was profiling, escalation, and punishment for knowing the law. This is the final story, and it just might be the one that stays with you the longest. What happened to this man wasn't just wrong. It was a clear reminder of how quickly things can spiral when power goes unchecked.
Hi there. What's this in your back pocket?
The navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
On October 31st in Columbia County, Florida, a deputy confronted 61-year-old James Hodges, and what followed would spark outrage across the nation. Bodycam footage shows an officer mistaking a folded walking stick in his back pocket for a weapon. But James Hodges wasn't armed. He was legally blind and he stood his ground.
The navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
you have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs?
What happened next? A clash between ignorance, authority, and one man's right to walk freely without fear.
You don't
Have you
to,
ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir, I'm
Have a
doing my
good day.
job.
Am I detained?
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
And then she asked for his ID, but Mr. Hodges stood his ground, calm and firm. He refused, explaining he hadn't committed any crime and had no legal obligation to identify himself.
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
What's
Call
your-
your
what's your-
supervisor. A walking stick.
So,
It could look like a weapon. She asked you to really present it, okay?
Hoping to resolve the growing tension, Mr. Hodges asked for a supervisor. But what he got wasn't clarity, it was escalation.
Now she's asking me for ID. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion. Now she has verified that I am not armed. Okay? So there is no problem. You have your ID or not? I do have my ID, but you don't need it.
is that hard?
Instead of de-escalating, the supervisor ordered him detained. You'd expect a higher-ranking officer to understand the position of the law on ID refusal, but in this case, rank didn't mean a thing.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I'm putting in jail for resisting.
Okay.
Mr. Hodges was unlawfully detained, then searched for his ID without a cause, and once the officers had Mr. Hodges' ID, one of the deputies smirked and asked, "Was that difficult?"
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I'm putting in jail for resisting.
Okay.
Mr. Hodges didn't flinch. He made it clear he was going to sue for unlawful search and seizure. The supervisor was upset that Mr. Hodges threatened to sue. And yep, you heard that right. The supervisor's response? Not an apology, not a correction. He ordered Mr. Hodges to be arrested and jailed for resisting.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I'm putting in jail for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You'll pick my property.
3 stories, 1 pattern. From the corrupt officers stealing from people they swore to protect, to a man warning others about speed traps, to a legally blind man arrested for knowing his rights. In each case, the problem wasn't just the badge, it was the system behind it. When the people who swore to serve and protect become the ones who intimidate and punish, we have to ask, where does accountability begin? And more importantly, who's watching the watchers? Share your thoughts on these interactions, as well as your opinion of this video in the comments section. Also, kindly subscribe and set a notification to be alerted on our next video. The next video is mind-blowing. See you next time.